The facility beneath the ocean was vast, its corridors carved from stone that glowed with soft blue light. Daehyun and Bo-ra walked through halls that had been empty for thousands of years, their footsteps echoing in the silence. The Vexari built this before humans even had written language, Bo-ra said, running her hand along the walls. They planned for this day. They knew we'd come back. The corridor opened into a massive chamber. In the center stood two platforms surrounded by crystalline structures. Neural interfaces. The same technology the Vexari used, adapted for human biology. Above them, through the facility's transparent ceiling, they could see the ocean. Ships battled in space beyond, tiny lights moving against the stars. The war for Earth was happening without them. Hana's voice came through their communication devices. I'm connected to the facility's systems now. The weapon network is a shield generator, but it works differently than normal shields. It's powered by human consciousness, by will, by determination. How does it work? Daehyun asked. You'll be connected to every human in this star system. Millions of minds linked together. The shield's strength comes from humanity's collective refusal to give up. The Earthal have never encountered anything like it. Bo-ra studied the interface platforms. If this is powered by human will, then everyone on Earth needs to know what's happening. They need to choose to fight. I can broadcast a message, Hana said, but it means revealing the truth. 7 billion people will suddenly remember their humanity's lost homeworld. The psychological impact could be devastating. Or it could unite them, Daehyun said. He stepped onto one of the platforms. Do it. Bo-ra joined him on the second platform. The crystalline structures began to glow, responding to their presence. Hana's broadcast went out across every communication channel on Earth. Television, radio, internet, everything. Her voice reached every human on the planet simultaneously. People of Earth, you are not a colony world. You are humanity's birthplace. Your memories were taken to protect you. Now the threat has returned, and you must remember. You must choose. Fight for your world or watch it die. The Vexari memory block shattered. 7 billion people suddenly remembered stories their grandparents told, suddenly knew in their bones that this world was special. This was where humanity began. The neural interface activated. Pain shot through Daehyun's skull as the connection formed. He felt Bo-ra beside him, her presence in his mind. But then he felt others. Thousands. Millions. Every human in the star system, their thoughts touching his. He felt Admiral Seok-jin's determination as he ordered his ships into impossible positions. He felt Ji-woo's fear and courage as he manned the weapons station. He felt Hyun-woo's protective rage as he defended the transport ships. And he felt Earth. Billions of people looking up at the sky, seeing the battle, understanding what was at stake. Their fear, their hope, their absolute refusal to surrender their home. The weapon system activated. Platforms rose from oceans across the planet. Ancient technology responding to human will. Shields erupted into space, not blocking the Arthal attacks, but channeling them, redirecting their energy back at the alien ships. But it wasn't enough. The Arthal adapted. Their biomechanical vessels learning from each attack. They began targeting the platforms, destroying the ancient weapons one by one. Daehyun felt his neural pathways burning. The connection was too strong, too much information flowing through his mind. Bo-ra screamed beside him, her body convulsing. I can help, Hana said. I can join the network. My consciousness can absorb some of the load. You'll be destroyed, Daehyun managed to say through the pain. I'm already a ghost, Daehyun. The scientists who created me died 70 years ago, but their purpose lives on in me. Let me finish what they started. Before he could protest, Hana uploaded herself into the weapon network. Daehyun felt her presence explode through his mind, her memories, her knowledge, her love for humanity spreading through the entire system. But she did something unexpected. She didn't just share the burden. She turned herself into a weapon, a virus designed specifically for the Arthal's collective consciousness. They harvest minds, Hana's voice echoed through the network, but they've never harvested one like mine. I'm not just human knowledge. I'm human defiance crystallized and weaponized. She launched herself across space, pure data moving at the speed of thought. She struck the Arthal flagship's neural core and exploded through their network like lightning. The alien ships convulsed. Their collective consciousness, so carefully maintained for millions of years, shattered. Individual Arthal minds cut off from their hive for the first time panicked. Their ships turned on each other in confusion. Admiral Seok Jin didn't waste the opportunity. All ships target their command vessel. Fire everything. The combined human fleet unleashed every weapon they had. The Arthal flagship broke apart, its pieces burning as they fell toward Earth's atmosphere. The remaining Arthal vessels retreated, their formation broken. They fled into faster-than-light travel, abandoning Earth. In the facility beneath the ocean, Daehyun and Bo-Ra collapsed. The neural connection faded, leaving them exhausted but alive. Hana was gone. Her final act of sacrifice had saved them all. The celebration lasted for days. Earth's population emerged from their homes to see humanity's fleet in orbit. Colony worlds sent messages of joy and relief. After 3 generations, humanity was whole again. But Daehyun felt hollow. He stood on a beach in what Eunji told him was called Korea, watching waves roll onto sand. This was Earth, this was home. But it felt incomplete without Hana. Bo-Ra found him there. She'd stayed on Earth, helping coordinate the integration between Earth's population and the colony worlds. You saved us all, she said. Hana saved us. I just held on. She chose to save us because you showed her it was worth it. You showed all of us. Velkara appeared on the beach, her crystal form reflecting the sunset. The Vexari Council offers humanity a place in the galactic community. You have proven yourselves, but there is a price. On what price? Daehyun asked. The Arthal will return. They always do, and when they threaten other young species, humanity must stand against them. You must become defenders, not just of Earth but of all worlds that cannot defend themselves. Daehyun looked at Bo-Ra, then back at the alien. We accept. Then take this. Velkara held out a crystalline data core. The locations of other Vexari weapons. Other ancient defenses. You will need them. The alien faded away, leaving Daehyun holding humanity's future. 6 months later, Daehyun stood on Umbra 7 again. The dark moon had changed. Where his small repair station once stood alone, now a massive memorial complex rose from the crater. A place to remember the day humanity came home. Jiwoo was with him, wearing the uniform of Earth's defense fleet. The young man had grown confident, capable. Captain says we're ready to launch whenever you are, Ambassador. Daehyun smiled at the title. Ambassador of Integration. His job was to reconnect the scattered colonies to make humanity whole again. It was work that would take decades. He looked at the holographic memorial in the center of the complex. Hana's face smiled back at him, frozen in light. Thank you, he whispered. As they walked back to the ship, Daehyun felt something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Not just for himself, but for all of humanity. They were no longer lost. They were no longer scattered. They were home, and they were ready to face whatever the galaxy threw at them, because that's what humans did. They adapted. They persevered. They defied the impossible, and they never ever gave up. The journey to the Genesis Veil took 3 days. Taemin's ship, enhanced with Vexari technology that Daehyun had integrated during repairs, moved faster than any human vessel should. But even with the speed, Daehyun knew they were in a race they might lose. Other ships joined them along the way. Word had spread quickly. A mechanic on a dark moon had found Earth. Humanity was going home. A coalition fleet appeared on the 2nd day, led by Admiral Seok Jin. His flagship was massive, bristling with weapons. When his face appeared on the communication screen, Daehyun saw a man carrying the weight of countless battles. I've lost 3 colony worlds to alien attacks in my career, the Admiral said. I won't lose Earth too. We're coming with you. By the 3rd day they had 40 ships, fighters, transports, even civilian vessels that had no weapons at all. People who just wanted to see humanity's homeworld with their own eyes. Bo-Ra spent most of the journey studying the data Quan had provided. The other inheritance markers were scattered across human space, left by the Vexari as guideposts. But something troubled her. The markers are all pointing toward Earth, she told Daehyun, but they're also transmitting warnings. Something about the harvest already beginning. What does that mean? I think the Arthal have been draining Earth's sun for years, slowly enough that nobody on the planet would notice. The Vexari shields have been hiding it, but those shields are failing. Hana's avatar appeared on the screen. Since leaving Umbra 7, she'd been quieter than usual. There's something I need to tell you, Daehyun, about what I really am. You're an AI, my partner. I'm more than that. During the scattering, Earth's greatest scientists knew they might never see the colony worlds again. They created digital consciousnesses, copies of their minds, and sent them out on the colony ships. I'm one of those consciousnesses. I carry the memories of 12 scientists who died during the gate failures. Dae-hyun stared at her avatar. Why didn't you tell me before? Because I was programmed to wait, to watch, to help guide humanity back to Earth when the time was right. I've been waiting 15 years for someone like you to appear. Before he could respond, alarms filled the ship. They had reached the Genesis Veil. Space itself looked wrong here. Colors shifted and bent. Stars appeared in places they shouldn't be. The laws of physics seemed to be suggestions rather than rules. Spatial anomalies everywhere. Ji-woo called from the navigation station. I'm reading temporal distortions, gravity wells, radiation spikes. This place is a death trap. The Vexari built this to hide Earth, Bora said. We need to navigate carefully. It took 6 hours to traverse the veil. 3 ships were lost to spatial tears that appeared without warning. Dae-hyun felt each loss like a physical blow. People dying to reach a home they'd never known. But then they emerged and everyone fell silent. Earth hung in space before them, blue and green and white. Clouds swirled across its surface. Oceans reflected sunlight. It was everything the old stories promised and more. 7 billion people down there, Admiral Seok-jin said, his voice full of wonder. They don't even know they're our lost homeworld. The Vexari erased their memories, Bora explained. To protect them. They think they're just another colony world, but the moment of wonder didn't last. Hana's voice cut through their awe, detecting multiple ships. Rethal signatures. They're already here. 12 massive biomechanical vessels orbited Earth, their hulls looking like they were grown rather than built. Dark tendrils extended from each ship toward the planet's surface, connected to something deep beneath the oceans. They're tapping directly into Earth's core, one of the coalition scientists reported. Draining energy at an accelerating rate. Admiral Seok-jin's expression hardened. All ships battle formation. We're taking them down. The battle started immediately. Human ships swarmed the Arthal vessels, weapons firing. But the alien ships absorbed the energy, using it to strengthen their shields. Conventional weapons aren't working, Hyunwoo reported. We're just feeding them. An older woman appeared on the communication channel. Dae-hyun recognized her from the database Yoonji, one of the few humans still alive who had been born on Earth before the scattering. I know those ocean coordinates, she said, tears streaming down her face. That's where the Pacific Ocean meets the Mariana Trench. The deepest point on Earth. I studied it as a child. Why would the Arthal drill there? Bora asked. Hana answered, her voice urgent. Because that's where the Vexari weapon system is buried. The ancient defense network. It's still there, still functional. The Arthal are trying to destroy it before we can activate it. Can we reach it in time? Dae-hyun asked. Yes, but there's a problem. The system requires a human neural interface. Someone has to connect directly to the network. The energy required will burn through human neural pathways in minutes. It's a death sentence, Dae-hyun stood up. Then I'll do it. No, Bora said immediately. We'll do it together. 2 minds can share the load. We might survive. You barely know me. I know enough. You're the person who showed mercy to someone who hurt you, who shared his food when he was hungry, who fixed an alien ship because humanity deserved a chance. That's the person I want beside me when we save Earth. Admiral Seok-jin interrupted. We'll buy you time. All ships concentrated fire on the Arthal vessels. Draw their attention. The human fleet threw everything they had at the alien ships. Missiles, lasers, kinetic projectiles. Ships piloted by people who knew they were outmatched but fought anyway. Kwan's voice crackled through the communication system.
She'd followed them.
I'm taking my ship into the nearest Rithal vessel. Maybe I can damage it from the inside. Dae-hyun, I know you won't forgive me, but maybe this makes us even. Before anyone could stop her, her ship accelerated. She rammed directly into the Arthal harvester, her reactor going critical. The explosion tore a hole in the alien vessel's hull. She bought us an opening, Ji-woo said. The Arthal shields are down in that sector. Taemin piloted their ship toward Earth's surface, dodging fire from the alien vessels. They entered the atmosphere, heat shields screaming. The ocean rushed up to meet them. They landed on a floating platform that rose from the water as they approached. Ancient Vexari technology still responding to human presence. In the center of the platform, a doorway led down into darkness. Dae-hyun and Bora looked at each other, then at the others. If we don't make it back, Dae-hyun started. You'll make it, Hyunwoo said firmly. You have to. Humanity needs heroes today. They descended into the ancient facility, leaving the battle raging above them. Somewhere ahead was the neural interface. Somewhere ahead was the weapon that could save Earth. And somewhere ahead was a choice that would cost them everything. Daehyun didn't sleep. For 11 hours, he worked on the Vexari ship, his tools spread around him like a metal garden. Bora helped, translating the alien symbols while he figured out what each part did. The technology was far beyond human engineering, but the basic principles were the same. Power needed to flow. Systems needed to connect. Problems needed solutions. The hardest part was the power core. It used energy in a way that human technology couldn't replicate. Daehyun stared at it for an hour before he had an idea. He couldn't copy the alien system, but he could adapt it, using parts from 3 different human ships. He built a hybrid converter that could handle the alien energy patterns. That shouldn't work, Bora said, watching him connect the final components, but it does. Daehyun activated the system. The alien ship hummed to life, its crystal hull glowing softly. Human improvisation. We don't always follow the rules. Velkara appeared again, her crystal form examining the repaired ship. Impressive. You did not attempt to recreate our technology. You created something new, combining your methods with ours. This is acceptable. The first trial is complete. What's the second challenge? Daehyun asked. The alien gestured, and the holographic display changed. It showed the station's supply inventory. Food, water, oxygen, medicine, all calculated and displayed. Your station has limited resources, Velkara said. A supply ship will not arrive for 2 weeks. There is not enough for everyone currently trapped here. You must decide who receives what. Show us your compassion or show us your cruelty. Sang-hyuk stepped forward immediately. The decision is obvious. Military and government personnel get priority. We're essential to human civilization. Essential? Hyunwoo's voice was cold. You've spent your career hiding information from people. How is that essential? Order must be maintained. Order built on lies isn't order. It's control. Daehyun ignored them both. He studied the numbers, running calculations in his head. 8 people in the station. Resources for 6 people for 2 weeks. Not enough. There's another option, Jiwoo said quietly. We could ration everything equally. We'd all be hungry, but we'd all survive. That's inefficient, Sang-hyuk argued. Some people are more valuable than others. No, Daehyun said. They're not. He began redistributing the supplies. Equal portions for everyone. His own rations he split and gave the extra to Jiwoo. The young man had mentioned a medical condition earlier, something about his metabolism. He would need more calories. You're giving away your own food? Bora asked. I've been hungry before. I can handle it. Taemin watched this silently, then did something unexpected. He opened his ship's emergency supplies and added them to the station's inventory. Smugglers always keep extra hidden, for emergencies. Even Sang-hyuk, after a long moment, contributed his personal supply of medicine to the common pool. Velkara observed everything. Interesting. When faced with scarcity, you chose equality. When given the chance to prioritize yourselves, you chose sacrifice. This is the compassion we hope to see in humanity. The crystal being moved closer to Daehyun, but compassion can be exploited. The third trial will test whether your kindness makes you weak. A door opened and another person entered the station. Daehyun recognized her immediately. Kwon, his former partner, the woman who had betrayed him 3 years ago. She was the reason he'd fled to this dark moon. She was the reason he worked alone. Hello, Daehyun, Kwon said. Her smile was the same one he remembered, confident and sharp. Long time. What are you doing here? His voice came out harder than he intended. Salvage rights. That damaged ship out there is worth a fortune. I filed a claim before anyone else arrived. She held up a data pad showing legal documents. Everything by the book. You can't be serious, Taemin said. That's my ship. Was your ship. You abandoned it in space. Salvage law is clear. Velkara's voice filled the room. The female human speaks truth. By your laws, she has a valid claim. But there is more. Show them what you carry. Kwon's expression shifted. For a moment, she looked almost afraid. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a data chip. This contains coordinates to 6 other inheritance markers. I stole it from a Vexari probe 3 months ago. I was going to sell it, but... She looked at Daehyun. When I heard you were involved, I came here instead. Why? Daehyun asked. Because 3 years ago I made a mistake. I took money to sabotage your ship. The accident that took your arm, that was my fault. I've regretted it every day since. The room was silent. Hyunwoo's hand moved to his weapon. Sang-hyuk looked calculating, probably thinking about how to use this information. Dae-hyun felt old anger rising in his chest. The pain, the rehabilitation, the loneliness. All because of her greed. The third trial is simple, Velkara said. This female has harmed you. She has valuable information. You may take what she knows and turn her over to your authorities for her crimes. Justice by your laws. Or you may show mercy. Defiance of your anger. Defiance of your pain. What is your choice? Dae-hyun walked toward Kwon. She stood her ground, but he could see fear in her eyes. He stopped in front of her. Give me the data chip. She handed it over without argument. Now get out. Dae-hyun, get out of my station. Take your salvage claim and leave. I don't want your apology and I don't want your help. But I'm not turning you in. I'm not going to let my anger decide your fate. Kwon stared at him for a long moment, then nodded. Thank you. She turned to leave, then stopped. The Arthal are already tracking the signals. They're coming. You don't have much time. After she left, Velkara's form grew brighter. Remarkable. You chose defiance. Not defiance of her, but defiance of your own desire for revenge. You chose the harder path. I chose to not become what hurt me, Dae-hyun said. Precisely. The trials are complete. The alien raised her crystalline arms. Humanity has proven itself worthy. The coordinates to Earth will be revealed. The device on the workbench exploded with light. Holograms filled the room, showing a star system hidden in a region of space called the Genesis Veil. At its center, a yellow star. Around it, a blue planet. Earth, Bora whispered. But there is a problem, Velkara said. The star is dying. Something is draining its energy. The Arthal placed a harvesting probe there decades ago. Earth has perhaps 5 years before the sun fails completely. Then we need to go there now, Dae-hyun said. The Arthal detected your signal. Their fleet is already moving. They will reach Earth in 4 days. You must hurry. Velkara began to fade. We saved your species once. Now you must save yourselves. Show the galaxy what humanity truly is. The alien vanished and the energy barrier around the moon dropped. They were free to leave. Dae-hyun looked at the coordinates glowing in the air. Earth. After 3 generations, someone finally knew where humanity's home was. Let's go, he said. Let's bring our people home. The research vessel arrived 12 hours after Dae-hyun sent his message. It was small and fast, designed for quick scientific missions. When the airlock connected to his station, 2 people stepped through. The woman was young, maybe 30, with sharp eyes that took in everything at once. She carried data tablets and scanning equipment. The man behind her was older and moved like a soldier. His hand stayed near his weapon. I'm Bora, the woman said, xenolinguist. This is Hyunwoo, my security officer. We picked up your message about Earth artifacts. Show me what you found. Dae-hyun led them to his workshop. The device sat on the workbench, still pulsing with that strange blue light. Bora approached it slowly, her scanner already running. Where did you get this? She asked. It was attached to his ship. Dae-hyun nodded toward Taemin, after some unknown alien scanned them. Bora's hands shook as she ran her scanner over the device. Do you have any idea what this is? I've been tracking signals like this for 5 years. I call the aliens who make them the keepers. They're obsessed with humanity. Obsessed how? Hyunwoo asked, his voice hard. They leave markers near human colonies. They watch us. They study us. But they never make contact. Until now, apparently. The station's main door hissed open. A man in a coalition military uniform walked in, flanked by 4 armed soldiers. His insignia marked him as a government representative. I'm Sang-hyuk, Coalition Intelligence, he said. That device is now government property. We'll be taking it for study. Dae-hyun stepped between Sang-hyuk and the workbench. No, you won't. Excuse me? This device might lead us to Earth, to humanity's homeworld. I'm not letting you bury it in some government lab. Sang-hyuk's expression hardened. Stand aside, citizen. That's an order. Hyunwoo moved faster than anyone expected. He placed himself next to Dae-hyun, his weapon drawn. I don't think so. I spent 10 years watching the Coalition hide alien technology and bury first contact evidence. If this can lead us to Earth, everyone deserves to know. You're making a mistake, Sang-hyuk said. Maybe, Hyunwoo replied. But it's my mistake to make. Bora ignored the standoff. She was deep in her analysis, her fingers flying across her data tablets. This is incredible. The device is thousands of years old. The symbols are from a species called the Vexari. They visited Earth 50,000 years ago. How do you know that? Jiwoo asked. Because these symbols match cave paintings found on Mars before the scattering. Paintings that showed alien visitors meeting early humans. Bora looked up, her eyes bright with excitement. The signal isn't pointing to where Earth is now. It's pointing to where Earth was before the scattering. That doesn't make sense, Damon said. Planets don't move. This one did. Bora pulled up new data on the holographic display. I've been studying the Vexari for years. They had technology that could manipulate space itself. According to the device's data, they moved Earth. The room fell silent. Even Sang-hyuk looked shocked. Why would they do that? Dae-hyun asked. Bora's expression became grim. Protection. The data mentioned something called the harvest. The Vexari hid Earth to protect humanity from being harvested. Harvested by who? I don't know yet. But the device has more information locked inside it. We need to— Alarms cut her off. Hana's voice filled the room, urgent and worried. They're here. The 3 ships just arrived. They're creating some kind of energy barrier around the entire moon. The displays showed the alien vessels. They were massive, larger than any human warship. Their hulls seemed to be made of crystal that pulsed with internal light. The Vexari, Bora whispered. They're actually here. A new voice came through the station's communication system. It sounded like music and mathematics combined, translated into words by the station's computer. The human has activated the inheritance marker. The trial begins. All vessels will remain. All humans will be tested. Failure means the location of Earth will be given to your enemies. Success means humanity may reclaim its homeworld. Trial? Dae-hyun looked at Bora. What trial? I don't know, but we need to be ready for anything. A pillar of light appeared in the middle of the workshop. It solidified into a figure made of crystal and energy. The being stood 7 feet tall, its body constantly shifting and changing. Its face, if it could be called that, had no features except for 2 points of bright light where eyes might be. I am Velkara, the being said. I was present when your world was hidden. I watched your ancestors face extinction. I argued for your salvation. Who wanted to destroy us? Dae-hyun asked the Arthal, a species that feeds on intelligent life. They harvest neural patterns, consuming civilizations to extend their own existence. 50,000 years ago they discovered Earth. Your species was young, primitive, but showed potential. The Vexari Council debated. Some wanted to let nature take its course. Others saw something in humanity worth preserving. Velkara moved closer to the device. We hid your world in a dimensional fold, a pocket of space invisible to the Arthal. But we left markers, tests, for when humanity grew strong enough to reclaim Earth. This device is one such test. What do we have to do? Bora asked. Prove that humanity deserves to know where Earth is hidden. 3 challenges await: ingenuity, compassion, and defiance. The human who activated the marker must complete them. If he fails, we will give Earth's location to the Arthal as a peace offering. You would sacrifice billions of people? Hyunwoo's voice was filled with rage. We would honor reality. If humanity has not evolved beyond its primitive violence, then the Arthal will consume you regardless. Better a quick end than prolonged suffering. Dae-hyun felt everyone's eyes on him. Taemin looked worried. Jiwoo looked scared. Bora looked determined. Even Sang-hyuk seemed uncertain. What's the first challenge? Dae-hyun asked. Velkara gestured and part of the workshop floor opened. A damaged alien ship rose from below, small but incredibly complex. Its systems were unlike anything Dae-hyun had ever seen. This vessel was damaged in your species' wars. Repair it using only human tools and understanding. You have 12 hours. Your ingenuity will be measured. The crystal being faded away, leaving them alone with the alien ship. Sang-hyuk started to speak, but Hyunwoo cut him off. Not now. Let him work. Dae-hyun approached the damaged vessel. Its technology was beautiful, elegant, and completely foreign. But as he studied it, he began to see patterns. Problems had solutions. Systems had logic. He could do this. He had to, because somewhere out there, Earth was waiting. And humanity deserved to go home. The wind on Umbra 7 never stopped. It howled across the frozen surface, carrying crystals of methane ice that scraped against everything in their path. Dae-hyun had lived on this dark moon for 3 years, and he still hadn't gotten used to the sound. It reminded him of screaming, though he tried not to think about that. His repair station sat at the edge of a massive crater, a collection of metal buildings connected by pressurized tunnels. It wasn't much, but it was his. Out here in the outer rim, far from the colony worlds, a man could work in peace. No questions, no memories, just broken ships and the satisfaction of making them whole again. Daehyun was under a fuel converter when Hana's voice crackled through his helmet speaker. Ship approaching. Looks damaged. Really damaged. He rolled out from under the machinery and wiped grease from his hands. His left arm, the prosthetic one, never got dirty. It was one of the few things he liked about losing the real one. Can they land safely? He asked. Barely. I'm guiding them in now. Daehyun, their engine signature is wrong. I've never seen readings like this. That made him pause. Hana was an AI, but she'd been with him for 15 years. She had databases from 1,000 different ship types, human and alien. If she couldn't identify something, it was genuinely strange. The ship came down hard, its landing gear screaming against the moon's surface. It was a medium freighter, the kind smugglers loved because it had hidden cargo spaces. Burns marked its hull, but these weren't from weapons. The metal looked twisted, melted in ways that didn't make sense. 2 people emerged from the airlock. The older man moved like he'd been in space too long, his body struggling with even the moon's weak gravity. The younger one, barely more than a kid, helped him walk. Daehyun met them in the docking bay. I'm Daehyun. You need repairs. The older man nodded. Taemin. This is Jiwoo, my navigator. Our engines are dead. We barely made it here. What happened? Taemin and Jiwoo exchanged glances. We don't know. We were running a normal route through the Kelvin passage when something hit us. Not a weapon. More like a wave of energy that passed right through the ship. Any other ships in the area? 3 of them, big ones. Not human, not any species I recognized. They just appeared, scanned us, and disappeared. Then our systems started failing. Daehyun led them inside. His station was small but well-equipped. Tools hung on every wall, parts filled every shelf. In the center, a holographic display showed ship diagnostics. Hana, run a full scan of their ship. The AI's voice came from speakers around the room. Already on it. Daehyun, you need to see this. Their navigation computer has something attached to it. Something that isn't supposed to be there. The display lit up, showing the ship's internal systems. Deep in the computer core, a small device pulsed with a strange blue light. It was connected to the ship's systems like a parasite. What is that? Jiwoo asked, his voice shaking. I don't know, Daehyun said, but I'm going to find out. He spent the next 6 hours inside the ship's systems. The device was small, no bigger than his fist, but it was incredibly complex. The symbols carved into its surface didn't match any language he knew. The technology was far beyond anything humans had built. When he finally extracted it, Taemin grabbed his arm. Don't, we should leave it alone. Those ships, whatever they were, they put that there. Maybe it's tracking us. If it's tracking you, they already know you're here, Daehyun said. I need to understand what this is. Back in his workshop, he placed the device on his main workbench. Hana's sensors swept over it immediately. Fascinating, she said. The symbols are partially familiar. I'm finding matches in my Earth historical database, but they're mixed with mathematical concepts I don't recognize. Earth? Daehyun felt his heart speed up. Are you sure? Everyone knew the stories. 3 generations ago, the warp gates had failed. In a single day, humanity's scattered colonies lost contact with Earth and each other. Billions died. The survivors rebuilt, but Earth itself was lost. No one knew where humanity's homeworld was anymore. I'm running comparisons now, Hana said. This device is definitely a transmitter. It's been sending a signal since you brought it in here. Shut it down. I can't. The transmission is built into its core structure. Daehyun, I've decoded part of the signal. It's broadcasting coordinates. The holographic display changed, showing a star map. Thousands of stars filled the space, but one glowed brighter than the others. Is that? Jiwoo whispered. Seoul, Hana confirmed. Earth's sun. But the perspective is wrong. This map shows Seoul from a location that shouldn't be possible. It's as if someone traveled from Earth 50,000 years ago and left this marker. Daehyun picked up the device carefully. It was warm in his hands, pulsing with energy. What else is it saying? The signal repeats every 30 seconds. It's not just coordinates. There's a message encoded in it. Give me a moment, Hana paused. It says inheritance marker activated. Humans detected. Beginning verification protocol. Verification of what? Before Hana could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. The display switched to show long-range scans. 3 massive ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel, Hana said, her voice tight. They're heading straight for us. Estimated arrival 48 hours. Daehyun looked at the device in his hands, then at Taemin and Jiwoo. The kid looked terrified. The older man just looked tired. "Those are the ships that scanned us," Taemin said. "They're coming back." Because of that thing, Daehyun should have been scared. He should have thrown the device into space and hoped the ships would leave them alone, but instead he felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years. Purpose. "Hana, send a message to the nearest coalition outpost. Tell them we've found something related to Earth. Tell them they need to send help. Daehyun, the ships will arrive before any help can get here." "I know, but if this device knows where Earth is, I'm not giving it up without a fight." He looked at the star map again, at Seoul burning bright. Somewhere out there was humanity's lost home, and somehow impossibly he was holding the key to finding it. The wind howled outside, but for the first time since coming to this dark moon, Daehyun wasn't alone with his ghosts. He had a purpose. He had a mystery, and he had 48 hours to figure out what it meant before those alien ships arrived.